Look at all the books. Look at all of them. Okay. Hey everybody, it's Emily from ARG Schooling, and I'm doing a book haul because I can't stop. I can't stop buying books. It's an addiction. It's a problem. So I bought, I don't even know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books. Yeah, I think this is all of them. I just did like a run through of my piles here to see which ones are the ones I just bought. Okay, so I have 9 books that I bought in the last like 2 weeks, I think. So I'm just going to show you what I got. Most of these are for my grade 9 that you can see my mountains of books behind me. This is almost all grade 9. I think I have one book that isn't. But yeah, so I'll show you that one too. So anyway, let's get started. I bought The Sea Around Us by Rachel Carson because I wanted to use something from a naturalist point of view. I don't know, the science that I'm writing right now is kind of turning into a kind of a general science, but earth science, and it's hard to explain, and I don't know where it's going to go yet. But right now, there's a lot of nature stuff going on, so I thought I would put a book by a naturalist, and so I got Rachel Carson, because it's also about the ocean, and I have some stuff about oceans, so I thought this would make a good fit. So that's for science, and then I bought The Sixth Extinction by Elizabeth Colbert. This book was recommended to me by a couple different people as being a good fit for grade 9, and I read about it online a little bit, and I thought, oh, this sounds like a really interesting book, and then I flipped through it, and it's got a lot of nice like photography pictures in it, and it just looks really interesting, so I'm going to try to make some space for it in grade 9. I don't know where it'll fit yet, but it's going to be in there somewhere. And then I also bought The Story of Earth by Robert M. Hazen. And this sounds really cool. And I just started reading it, and it's so far really readable. And this is sort of like a history of just the Earth. And so it covers from the Big Bang to the formation of the moon, and the, you know, stages of the Earth before humans, before life, really. And it does cover once life evolved on Earth, but there's a lot of stuff in here that I just think is really interesting, and it's about mineralogy, and it's just a really different perspective on the history of Earth than I've read before, so I thought it would be really cool and an interesting resource for grade 9. And those are the only nonfiction I bought this time. So then the rest of these are all fiction. So I've got in my fiction pile Eva by Peter Dickinson, and I made a realization as I was going through my books that I now have 3 Peter Dickinson books that I bought for this. I did not even realize when I was buying them at the time that they were all the same author. Didn't even occur to me until I'm looking at my pile going, that's a lot of Peter Dickinson. I hope his books are good because I now own so many of them. So this book, Eva, sounded really intriguing. It's about a girl who wakes up from a coma in a hospital and doesn't quite understand what's been going on. But from what I understand, she's been given the brain of maybe a chimpanzee. I'm not positive. And she has to readjust to her life, but she doesn't know what they've done. Sit down. And it's like her discovering that. And I also think that the girl on the cover looks like, what is her name? Sophie from Game of Thrones, doesn't it? It's Sansa. So I thought, oh, look, Sansa's on the cover. I don't know. It does look like her. What is her name? Sophie. It's bugging me now. Anyway, so this book sounded really weird and interesting, and I kind of really want to read it. Then this book I got is Life as We Know It by Susan Beth Pfeffer. And this book is about a meteor that strikes the moon and how that affects the planet. It sends Earth into like apocalyptic events, earthquakes and tidal waves and all this stuff. And I thought this was neat to go along with the formation of the moon and how the moon affects the Earth. I don't know if it's any good or not. I think it's a trilogy. Yeah, I think there's, or maybe not, maybe there's 4 in the series. I don't know. There's a bunch of the series. If it's good, I might read the rest of them. I don't know. It could be. Then I bought Evolution, Me, and Other Freaks of Nature by Robin Brand, and I thought this sounded really interesting too. This is about a girl who goes against her family, her church, her friends, and stands up for a boy who comes out as gay, I think. And then it goes into her science teacher begins a unit on evolution, which makes everyone crazy. So I just thought it sounded really interesting, and it might fit somewhere since we're doing a lot on evolution, but it sounded really interesting and fun, and I thought it might make a good fit. Then I have Ashfall by Mike Mullen, and this book is about the Yellowstone National Park supervolcano erupting. And I remember when I was reading A Short History of Nearly Everything by Bill Bryson, this was brought up in it. And I thought, ooh, it ties in nicely with that. So I hope it's good because I really want to use it to tie in with the stuff on supervolcanoes and Yellowstone. So it's about basically a boy having to survive the supervolcano eruption and how he does so. So it sounds really, it's a big book too. It's a big, I don't even know, like over 400 pages, so hope it's good. And it reads fast. And then I also have The Kin by Peter Dickinson. I think this is a bind-up of 4 books. So these are all prehistoric fiction about different teens, I believe, in Africa. So I don't know. It sounds good. I've heard good things about the series, so I'm hoping that it's well written and interesting. And then this last book has nothing to do with grade 9. It's just a book my daughter and I were talking about getting. It's The Walled City by Ryan Groudon. I just bought Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groudon, and then we heard about this book shortly after, and I thought, I haven't read Wolf by Wolf yet. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, and it sounds good, but this sounded really intriguing. It takes place in some kind of, it's like China, I think, but I don't know if it's really China or if it's a fictional world similar to China. I'm not sure. I don't really know very much about it, but it sounded interesting, and I love reading about Asian cultures, so I thought this could be an interesting story. So I bought that, and that is it. Those are all the books that I've bought in the last couple of weeks. I also have a few that I mentioned in my last one that finally came in the mail. That yep. These are the ones that I had actually bought when I did my last book haul that came like 3 days later. And that's Great Sky Woman by Stephen Barnes. And this is about prehistoric people in Africa. And then I got Think Like a Neanderthal by Thomas Wynne and Frederick L. Coolidge. This is nonfiction, and it bugs the crap out of me that I bought this used and they have it covered in stickers. Why do you do that? Why? It's not necessary. So I don't know if this is anything interesting or not. I haven't read it yet, but it sounds intriguing. And I like the title, How to Think Like a Neanderthal. I don't know, it just makes it sound interesting to me. Okay, so those are all the books that I have bought in the last several weeks. I'm hoping that I am done buying books for a little while because my bank account's like, stop. Just stop. Stop buying. You don't need them. So hopefully any more books that I really need, I can find at my library. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've read any of these, please let me know what you thought of them. I'd like to hear. I'm hoping to get through all of them in the next month or 2, 3. I don't know. I'm trying to be realistic with how long it's going to take me to read all of these. It's going to be a little while. But thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Happy reading.